In my last talk, I spoke about Brother Francis Garate and how he lived his life and his faith in a simple way among the chaos of the entryway of a school by focusing on the simple tasks that he was called to do. And in that, he reminds me of a Jesuit who's not a saint, Jean-Pierre de Caussade, whose writings were lost for probably a century or more, and then rediscovered and became the focus of something that people have called the sacrament of the present moment. Because what he held was that each moment of our lives, we are called to be responsive to God, to do the will of God right at that moment. Too often we get lost in all the things that we're supposed to do, in a little bit or in a day or two, and we become anxious. But his idea was just focus on what you're doing right now and do it out of love for God and openness to God's will, and let that be enough for you, because God has asked you to do that. God has not asked you to live the next moment right now. No, live this moment and live it in this surrender to whatever the will of God is for right now. And if you do that, then you become conscious of God right in this moment. It becomes a sacrament. This moment becomes a sacrament because it is here that you are encountering God. Too often we miss God because we're too involved in thinking and dreaming and doing things in the future. Well, if right now is the time for me to plan for the future, let me encounter God in planning for the future. But most of the time, what this moment is about is doing some other task, simple that it might be. And if we do that task with a love for God and a knowledge that this is the will of God for us, we're doing just about everything we can right now to serve and to love God. So may your day be filled with lots of sacraments of the present moment where you are aware of doing what God wants you to do and doing it joyfully and peacefully because you are fulfilling the will of God. And that's the wisdom of the Jesuits for today.